Green Acres is a place to be. Farm living is the life for me. And spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside. I'm not doing the female parts.
No,
That's Bob's to do.
I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view.
Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. The chores, the stores, fresh air, Times Square. You are my wife. Goodbye, city life. Green Acres, we are there.
Bob, one day I'll be able to do it just as good as you do it. What's going on, Miss Debbie?
Welcome to Irish Bill's Twist on Sports. Do not adjust your cameras at home. This is not Seminole Bob. It is Marty Wilson checking in for Seminole tonight. Seminole's on assignment this evening over in Walton County. He does the public address for the middle school over there and middle school football. So he will be out this evening. So Marty will be filling. Well, it's hard to fill Bob's shoes.
Yeah, I can't.
But
I will never try to. Never.
You can only hope to contain him.
I'll tell you what, though, Bill, your team is very busy.
We are.
A lot of busy young men.
Yeah, we're all over the Panhandle, and we got to thank everybody. One of these Friday nights, Riley may have to take nights. He's now a junior. I mean, guys, we've raised our little boys growing up.
Yes, sir.
He started with us as a freshman. He had the interest, and his mom got with me, Melissa, and asked me if he could join us. And I said, love to have him aboard. He's been with us 3 years now. School's starting to get a little tougher for him, so he said there may be nights where he may not be able to make it. We have you covered, Riley, and we appreciate you being there for us every Friday night.
Bill, this is my question. How tall was Riley when you first met him?
He was his freshman. He was 6 foot. When he came back for his sophomore year, he was 6'5". He grew more in 1 year than I did in about 5 or 6. But this is no fooling, Marty. When I was in 7th grade, I wrestled. I was 4'7", and I wrestled at 86 pounds in 7th grade. And my 8th grade year, I grew 5 whole inches, and I was 5 foot. And I was wrestled at 103. I was a terrible wrestler. I had never won a match. Then I grew 7 inches my freshman year and stopped. That was it. But we're glad that you're here for the show tonight. Irish Bill's Twist on Sports. We're into week 7. Debbie, you had your heart procedures yesterday. Hopefully everything went well. She goes, I know what it feels like to be tased. Legally.
Yeah.
Debbie, legally. I'm sure that you being who you are, you probably have been tased before. But I haven't. Yeah. Well, if you count going in to get nerve tests done, you've been tased.
Yeah.
And that's not fun. But anyways, we're glad that you're here for the show tonight. Week 7, as we get ready to enter. Week 6 for Navarre football, looking for their first win. Thought we were close last week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We'll talk about some of our former Navarre Raiders. Good news for one of them this past weekend.
Yes, sir.
And we're just going to break down all the games from last week, give you the scores and everything. We'll have our players of the week and our power rankings, and stick around for that. We got maybe one of our own in the conversation tonight, Marty, and we'll get to that here in a bit.
Yeah.
But let's go over our scores from last week. Thursday night, Childs beat Impact Christian Academy 36-22. Bay took out Pensacola 47-28. Our game Friday night, Tate 29, Navarre 26. Mosley 27, Milton 14. The first loss for Milton there. Choctaw continues to dominate. I'm surprised that Arnold even scored against them, 40-7. Pace, close game at halftime, pulled away in the second half, 34-8. Niceville all over Gulf Breeze. That was over when they got off the bus in Gulf Breeze. 49 points in the first half. Actually, I think they had 42 in the first quarter. Rickards over Fort Walton Beach, 16-3. Pensacola Catholic, they're hot, 58-17 over Freeport. Escambia 22, Washington 3. The Raiders will get Escambia this Friday night after the JV team won last night over at Escambia, 21-12, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Godby over Baker County, 17-13. All those games that we just talked about were district games. And this one was a district game, but it didn't feel like it as Lincoln beat Leon 70-0.
Wow.
Wow.
How did they have time
That
to
wasn't
score
the highest score of the week last week, man. Over Mobile.
100-0.
Williamson and Davidson. It was 73-0 at halftime.
Goodness.
And they chose not to have the running clock in the second half. They went on for a 100-0 win.
Goodness. Do you think that was pride or ego, Bill?
Well, it's probably ego over. There's a lot of schools over in Mobile, and they've been playing each other for a long time. They probably had the score ran up against them previously, and they were just returning the favor more than likely. And they did it in fine fashion as they threw up $100,000.
Man, brother.
Rutherford over Mariana, 32-15. South Walton shut out Walton. Actually, that game was delayed for a couple hours due to weather. It was a late finish. Wakulla 30, Sewanee 23. Bluntstown 38 continues to roll over W.S. Neal. Alabama 7. Baker 43, Houston County, Alabama, as I was corrected. In Georgia, it's Houston.
It is Houston.
In Alabama, it's Houston.
I can
And
confirm.
in Texas, it's Houston. So, Houston, we have a problem. No. I had to throw that one in there.
Bro, Houston County was scary when I was in
they
high
were.
school. Scary.
Holmes County 16. Chipley suffers their first loss. Did not get on the board. 16-0 Holmes County. Opp over Destin 48-19. Flomaton over Jay 21-7. Hamilton County 32. Jefferson County Goose Egg. Lighthouse had a forfeit. Vernon could not field a team last Friday night. Liberty County 21. Sneeds 14. The First Academy over Gadsden County 42-14. McClay over FAMU 42-14. Wewa-Hitchcock 24, Cottondale 16, Franklin County 48, Graceville 6, Bozeman 33, and Port St. Jude 20, and Rocky Bayou takes out Central 41-7. Wow.
Very interesting week in football. I mean, 70-0, 100-0. Wow, Bill.
Yeah, and here's our games coming up this week, and we'll have who we're going to pick tomorrow night. A couple of guys still owe me their picks for this week. Not naming names, Marty, but
it's coming.
no, I'm still waiting from Joe and Paul as well. So, hey guys,
It's getting tight.
Joe, I see you checking in.
The
I
competition's
know
getting tight.
you're probably still working on your picks, Joe, and just get me in those hopefully by noon tomorrow morning. And but here's the games coming up this week. We got a bunch of them. We pick every one of them from here on over to Tallahassee. I'm going to turn my volume down here because get pop-up messages. You guys don't need to be listening to those. We'll turn that volume down a little bit. Okay. And, okay, we got one Thursday night game. We got Mariana going to North Bay Haven. Friday night, Escambia coming over to Navarre. Choctaw at South Walton. I don't think that's going to be much of a game. They get to play in that new stadium over there in South Walton. Pine Forest at Crestview, a game that I'm still working. I got to do some more research on that one. Pace hitting the road for a long road trip. They had to head over to Madison County to Boot Hill. Boot Hill Stadium. Face off with the Cowboys of Madison County. That was a tight one last year. I believe 35-28 it was a really close game last year when Madison County came over to Pace. Gulf Breeze going to West Florida. Godby at Niceville. Wakulla at Fort Walton Beach. Pensacola at versus Washington. They're going to be playing that game at Blue Wahoo Stadium on Friday night. Lincoln at Gadsden County. Leon at Cairo, Georgia, the syrup makers. Bishop Kenny at Rickards. Walton at Arnold. Destin at Catholic, Childs at Florida High, Northview at Baker, Central at Jay, Sneeds at Bluntstown, Port St. Joe at Rutherford, North Florida Christian traveling over to Monticello to face off at Jefferson County, Franklin County at Cottondale, Osceola Christian at Calhoun County, Georgia, Graceville at Vernon. You think those are long road trips? It's not really, because Osceola Christian is not too far from the Georgia-Florida border. Yep. So over in Monticello, so it's not that long a road trip as you would think. Graceville at Vernon, Weewa-Hitchcock at Liberty County, Lighthouse playing Monroe Academy, Alabama, Crenshaw Christian Academy, Alabama at Rocky Bayou, and Taylor County at McClay. Our college games that we're picking this week: Thursday night game, Sam Houston. It used to be Sam Houston State when they were FCS. They've dropped the state. Now they're just Sam Houston, and they're crossing the border into New Mexico to take on New Mexico State. Friday night game, Charlotte at South Florida, Colorado State at San Diego State, West Virginia at BYU, Illinois at Purdue with a big win over USC last week, Army at UAB. They're heading into Birmingham, Iowa State at Cincinnati, Kentucky at Georgia. Hopefully your Bulldogs will bounce back this week there. I haven't given you a hard time because it's tough when you got your good friends and they suffer a tough loss, especially that team from, was it Tuscaloosa or Tuscaloosa or
something like that. I think it rhymes with that, Bill.
Okay. I know Debbie's going to love that one. Anyways, tough loss there, Marty. Wisconsin at Michigan, heading over to the Big House. Wake Forest at Virginia Tech. West Florida traveling up to Oklahoma this week to take on Northeastern State. I think that's their first trip ever to Oklahoma for a game.
Got to check that out.
Clemson at North Carolina. The battle of who cares right now, because Clemson's 1-3. North Carolina struggling just as much. Bill Belichick, it's not as easy as he thought it was going to be, was it?
No, it's not. It's not, man. It's it's a whole nother game.
Oh, he's able to find 24-year-old students to hang with him, but he can't get 24-year-old football players to come there. So, oh, well.
That's funny.
Anyways, Oklahoma State at Arizona, Boston College at Pittsburgh, Texas at Florida. Florida's schedule. Oh my gosh, who schedules that? I blame that on the AD.
Yeah, that's you know, you got confidence and then you got arrogance. And I think when he's scheduled that schedule.
Wow. The last 2 years they've had the toughest schedule in all of college football. Mm-hmm. Boise State heading to Notre Dame this weekend. Brady will be at the game with my brother Jim and my nephew Jake.
I think that game
heading up to the game.
That game's going to get ugly quickly.
I think it will. There's no Ashton Genty to save them this year, and game should be over like the Arkansas. Hopefully the Boise State coach won't get fired too.
Yeah, I think halfway through the first quarter we'll probably be ready to turn it off.
Washington at Maryland, Virginia at Louisville. Virginia. Did you see what happened at Virginia, the way that the students rushed the field afterwards?
I did.
I don't like that.
Especially when players get, trampled.
I mean, they were doing an interview on the field, and you could not even see where the player was being interviewed from. I mean, come on. And I know the schools get fined for their students rushing the field. I think it's like a $250,000 fine.
Yeah.
But come on. And especially when you have no security at that end of the field. And it's have you ever been to Tuskegee?
I have not.
At the left end of the field, they have it's like a hill, and there's like levels up, so the students and the fans can sit on the hill watching the game from the grass. Because I know when Tuskegee and Miles got together, the stadium was full, so you couldn't find a seat. So they opened it up in the grass, and there's no security down there. They can just rush the field, and that's the same thing what happened at Virginia. And that was kind of scary for some of those Florida State fans.
No, it was for sure.
But let's move on here. We got Syracuse going to SMU, Vanderbilt going to Bama. That's going to be a good game.
It will be.
We know Vanderbilt upset Bama last year at home. Penn State going to UCLA. Sorry, little game, James. You still can't win the big one, but you'll win this one. Michigan State at Nebraska. Kent State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma winner, you're going to play a team this year. Come on. and they're without their quarterback because Mateer got hurt a couple of games ago. And Texas Tech, Houston, Texas Tech, the best team money can buy. This year, Houston has got a pretty solid team as well. Kansas coming over to Orlando to face off with UCF. Mississippi State at A&M. Miami, Florida at Florida State. That's going to be one heck of a game. I'll be watching that game.
I might be in the area for that game, Bill.
You might be over in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to go to the game, but I'll probably be in the area.
There's a lot of great places to eat over there in Tallahassee.
Sir. Yes, sir.
We took Brady over there. Well, he was already over there because he was going to school at FAMU and for his master's program, and we went over there for his birthday, and we went to one of the pizza places over there. Moso's or something like that. I can't remember. But it was, oh my gosh, that was incredible pizza. Minnesota at Ohio State, Colorado at TCU. Your boys, Colorado, kind of let you down last week.
Yeah, it was a tough battle.
Then Duke heading out west to California. Said, "Go west, young man," and they decided to put California because California is part of the ACC now.
Yeah.
A team from when would you have thought that a team from California would be in the ACC?
In the Atlantic Coastal Conference.
Yeah, also known as the All Cupcake Conference.
Yeah.
But so that's all the games coming up this week: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if you're an NFL fan, you got plenty of games. They got another game overseas. So the Vikings basically stayed overseas. They have back-to-back weeks overseas. So that means 8:30 in the morning Sunday, we got football till 10:30 at night. Does it not get any better than that?
No, it's good, man. Like, it doesn't. It was really cool to wake up Sunday morning and to have football on. I completely forgot that the Steelers were playing over there. The Steelers and the Vikings, right?
Yep. Steelers put a hurting on them.
Yeah, they did. That defense, solid, Bill. Goodness, man.
Yeah. Woo. Well, we're going to head out commercial break, and we'll be back with more of Irish Bill's Twist on Sports from Culver's here in Navarre, blocking a bridge from beautiful Navarre Beach. It's week 7. Have a great evening. And, well, not you guys on the air. I'm saying bye to some individuals here back in the room with us. And we'll be back for more Irish Bill's Twist on Sports.
Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Well, they're seeing to it that they are properly fed, have good transportation, are making sure that all Raider fans can hear all the exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. Buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322. The Hustle isn't named after anyone, not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The Hustle is real. The Hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear You can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com, and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Rubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you.
Sometimes all you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best. Marty! You're dead weight! Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go sports bar!
And I have to admit, that is Buffalo Wild Wings commercial. Marty is not dead weight.
I am a heavyweight.
Welcome back to Irish Bill's Twist on Sports. Fresh off our first commercial break, and hopefully you've been enjoying this so far. And Joe checking in, Debbie's checking back in. Bob, Seminole Bob checking in tonight. As he's
Bob.
derelict of his duties tonight.
Hey, I got you, Bob. I got you covered,
We
sir.
got you covered. And Joe, thanks for letting me know you sent your picks in. Pick Wizard struggling a little bit this year, maybe. He's got some things going on, Joe. We're behind you. We understand that it's tough to maintain perfection over time.
It is.
I mean, look at the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Once they lost Brady, see ya.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So, but Bob had a game tonight. He was doing the public address, and I think they might be over with by now because knowing that middle school over there, they got a really good football program. It probably was a running clock in the second half more than likely. But drive safe, Bob, back from Walton County. And we'll see you back tomorrow night. We got a great show tomorrow night from Buffalo Wild Wings coming up. Coach Gardner, special teams coach, kicking coach, will be on the show, along with Jack Byer. What a season Jack's having so far.
He's having a really good year.
Hasn't missed a kick all year. 9 for 9 extra points, 3 for 3 field goals. We're going to have the punter, Jacob Bishop, who's having a great season as well. And that young man will probably be kicking somewhere in D1 football next year. That guy is a talent. And I believe Tyler Pitch will be joining us as well. I believe Tyler is our long snapper. I know we don't give a whole lot we don't talk about the long snapper much, but we'll have him on the show tomorrow night as well. So should be a great show. Not sure if Paul's going to be, if he decides to get away from work a little bit,
That's
maybe come and
man.
join us on a Wednesday night. It would be nice. But it will be Bob, myself, and Marty from Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. And we want to thank him over there for letting us come in there every Wednesday night from 8. And if we go on at 8, so we'll have the players on and coach first after the first segment of the show. So that's our schedule for tomorrow night. And it's time to go over last Friday night's game. Here's how the scoring went down. We didn't have to wait long for a touchdown last week. Curtis Sanders took care of that.
Yes,
he went
he
off
did.
left tackle behind great blocking on the left side by the Big Bubbas and went 74 yards on the very first play from scrimmage. Byers' kick was good. It's 7-0 Navarre. You get a chance, go back and watch the broadcast. Marty and I both got a little excited on that one because we haven't seen that productivity from the running back position this year yet.
For sure.
And at the 20-second mark, after the Raiders' defense forced a fumble, Landon Johns takes the ball in, a bad snap on the extra point. So it's 13-0 Navarre after one. Things looking pretty good after the first quarter. And it would start out the second quarter looking real good. We got, Emerald Coast Middle School 20, Walton 6. So that was a closer game than expected. And so they blocked the punt, and I believe that was Jaden Jones that blocked the punt. And landed. That was not Landon Johns, but that was actually Curtis Sanders with his second touchdown of the night.
Yes.
This one on special teams. It goes down as a 2-yard punt return. You don't see too many 2-yard punt returns. But Navarre up 20-0. We're starting to feel pretty good, weren't we, Marty?
Yeah. The original game plan was excellent by the coaching staff. I want to publicly give them credit for coming out with a very good set of scripted plays.
Most definitely got the run game going, which we haven't seen much from this year, but they averaged about 8 yards a carry on the night. Just wish they would have stuck with it a little bit longer.
Yes, sir. I would agree with that.
But anyways, Tate would get on the board at the 6:16 mark. What a great job filling in for the injured quarterback. Tanner Clark did a tremendous job running the offense for the Aggies.
Yeah, to be a sophomore, I was very impressed with not only the way he handled the pressure, but also his intelligence, making decisions. He only made one bad decision all night.
31 carries on the night for Tanner for 188 yards and 3 touchdowns. His first one got Tate on the board. The kick was no good. It was 20-6. And then at the 2:03 mark, a 6-yard run by Clark, his second of the night. Clark also ran into 2-point conversion, and it was 20-14. So that 20-point lead has dissipated down to 6 at the half, 20-14. And we head to the third quarter and the opening kickoff. Lacorius Bradford breaks a couple tackles and runs 75 yards for a Tate touchdown. Tate takes their first lead of the night at the 11:45 mark. So a 21-20 lead for Tate. But Navarre would get back on the board as the Raiders drove down the field. Roman Marshall finds Connor Hamblin. 2-point conversion was no good, but the Raiders had them regained a 26-21 lead. Clark would go in for his third touchdown of the night, a 26-yard run at the 1:31 mark, and neither team could find the board in the fourth quarter. And your final score was Tate 29 and Navarre 26. So that was what we thought was going to turn out to be a good night for the Raiders. It kind of took a turn at Albuquerque and kept on going.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining game to watch.
It sure was. Both defense, a lot of hard hitting. Especially that I think that was the best that I've seen the Raiders defense play all year long.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Starting with the coaching staff, they did come out with a really good game plan. Looking at the numbers that Tate had rushing the ball, they ran the ball 50-plus times. So
52 times on the night.
I mean, I didn't break down the average, but if you look at the average and the total rushing yards, the defense still played pretty doggone well. We did have a couple of runs that got away from us because our linebackers weren't in the mix. But overall, when you look at our D-line and how, especially the safeties, how they came up in run support was a very positive sign, hopefully for the rest of the season. I know right now it's looking a little dark as far as winning the district, but to finish the season strong, I feel like we're on our way to do that.
And like I said, congrats once again to the Navarre JV team as they went on the road to Pensacola-Escambia last night, 21-12 victors. But let's talk a little bit about that defense. They were led, had 7 double-digit tacklers last night. Chase Moses led the way with 16. He had 9 solos, 7 assists. Jacob Bishop, 7 solos, 7 assists, 14 tackles. Bryce Wheeler with 12. Jane Jones with 11. Landon Johns was with 10. And Brady Thiessen with 11, Rowan Strom with 10. And Roman was a little banged up early in the first half, but he was able to come back in. So it's quite the defense. And they forced 5 turnovers on the night.
Man,
4 interceptions and a fumble and a block punt. And it's tough to drop games when you're forcing 5 turnovers and you're +3 in the turnover differential. You don't see that very often.
You don't at all. Man, that was tough, brother.
And on the season, the Raiders Raiders defense led by Jaden Jones with 44 tackle points, 37 solo, 14 assists. Bryce Wheeler right behind him with 43 tackles. Same with Jacob Bishop, 34 each for Matthew Lee. And let's talk a little bit about Lee in the game that he had. He played really big in certain opportunities on Friday night.
Yeah, Matthew Lee, he has really good stature. He's good at the point of attack. I like his mentality. I don't know him well, but it seems like him and Bryce Wheeler are gentlemen that, they love to be warriors in those situations. They don't back down from a fight. They're aggressive all night. But it was very entertaining to watch him and Bryce side by side all night dominate their one-on-one matchups in the trenches.
Lee had one of those interceptions on Friday night, and also one for Paul Wilden. Two of the defensive linemen got interceptions on Friday. You don't see that very often either.
You don't.
And but Zeke Burgess, the game that he played, when are Panhandle teams going to realize not to throw at Zeke Burgess?
Yeah. I mean, his coverage was incredible. Like, Bill, at times, I mean, it seems like he was teaching other corners how to play the position. That's how textbook his coverage was, especially on the interceptions. One of them, the receiver attempted a double move where he pretended like he was running one route and then he ran the other one. Zeke got right in his hip pocket, and it's like he was running the route, man. It was incredible.
And one was in the end zone that saved the touchdown as well.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ferris checking in, said, greetings, Bill, from Prattville, Alabama. Always good to watch your shows. Thanks, Jonathan, for being a faithful supporter of Irish Bill Sports and what we do here. And so it was a really good performance by the defense, but it just came down to that offensive line of Tate was large.
Yeah, they were huge. We mentioned it during the live broadcast on Friday, but both of their tackles had to be at least 6'5", 300 pounds. I don't know exactly what their stature is, but you could look down on the field and see them standing next to Matthew Lee, who's a large individual, and he looked a little small compared to them.
He did. And I know especially Bryce, when Bryce is what, about 5'10", 5'11"?
About 5'11", almost 6 feet.
Almost
5'11",
6 feet.
About 240.
He's not a small guy.
He's not a small man. He's 240, 245.
But when he stands up next to those guys, it's like me standing next to Marty. but anyways, great performance by the Raiders. We're going to get that W, and I think it's going to be rather soon.
I agree. But I got to give the coaching staff some props, Bill. They, especially with the scripted offensive plays in the first quarter leading into the second, it was a really good run of plays. I think we kind of got away, from what the game plan should have been when Tate started to make adjustments, especially in the second half, because Tate came out really good with special teams. They were allowing the squib kicks to kind of, give them trouble in the first half. The second half, they shored that up. They moved their back line up. And even on offense, man, they were throwing the ball outside, and they made adjustments, and they started throwing, quick screens and stuff like that. So I just think, we could have probably made some more adjustments in the third quarter.
Good effort by Curtis Sanders and Marquez White running the ball on Friday night. Between the two of them, they had over 150 yards rushing. And Marquez, the more and more I watch him, the more and more I am impressed with that young man. There's not really a whole lot on the football field that he can't do.
One of the best moves of the season was putting that young man at receiver. So whatever coach decided to do that, great job.
Most definitely. On the season, 26 receptions for 401 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brody Powers with 248 on 11. What are your early thoughts on the Escambia game that think Navarre pulls out a win? Well, Jonathan, you're never going to hear Irish Bill not predict a win for Navarre, but I really like their chances going into this game. Escambia beat a Washington team last week that has been struggling on offense. They 22-3 was the score of that game last week. They've been struggling to run the ball as well. They're led by their I think junior or senior quarterback Billy Dunn. He's a transfer from Pace. Was not going to get playing time because Pace doesn't use a traditional quarterback. They usually use an athlete up there in Pace to play the quarterback position. And I think Navarre has a really good chance to put up some points against a Escambia team that is 1-4 on the season.
Yeah, and Escambia, I wouldn't say they're small up front, but they're not as large as the defensive lines that we've become accustomed to seeing every single week. So I think up front we're going to have a big-time size advantage, and hopefully we'll utilize our offensive line to take advantage of some big-time running plays.
But the best part of this schedule this year is Irish Bill and his staff doesn't have to go on any long road trips.
Yeah.
In fact, we do not even have to cross the Pensacola 3-mile bridge to go to a game because all those teams that we traveled to last year are coming to us this year. We got Escambia this week. We went to their place last year. Tate, we went to their place last year. Catholic, we went to their place last year. They're all coming over here. And then our furthest games are Niceville and Crestview, which I can live with that.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll have that one back on the road next Friday night, a 7 o'clock kickoff. And Coach Grant over there. No relation to our Roberto Grant here. But that's the rest of our schedule. Escambia this week, at Crestview next week, home to Gulf Breeze in the Publix Beach Bowl Cup, where we dominate the Breezers from the West, at Pace and at Niceville for 2 tough games to finish the 2025 season.
Yeah, the Niceville game should be a lot more close than it has been the last couple of years. We will see, Bill.
Well, hopefully I can get a perspective from Joe. Joe works on the chain gang over at Niceville, so I think they're at home this week. I don't know if you're going to be on the sideline or not, Joe. And I know you don't want to give up any secrets on Niceville because you don't want Navarre to beat them, but that's okay with me. But anyways, you know what time it is, Marty? You know what time it is? Well, not 8:37, but
Oh, yeah. Drum roll time.
oh. It's time for Irish Bill's Panhandle Power Rankings, Week 6. Your large schools, Choctaw stays up top. Pace 2, Mosley 3, Tate 4, Bay 5. Milton drops down to 6 with their loss last week to Mosley. Niceville comes back in at number 7 at 3-3. Your small schools, Catholic, they're the new number 1 team. Baker, Bluntstown, South Walton, Freeport, West Florida, and Chipley. And your Irish Bill Players of the Week on offense from the Bozeman Bucks. He could have won a couple of them. John Hansen, 5 receptions, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. On defense, 14 tackles, 12 solo, 2 assists, a sack, and a tackle for loss for our Offensive Player of the Week from Bozeman, the Bucks out of Panama City area. Your defensive player from right here in Navarre, Chase Moses, 16 tackles, 9 solos, 7 assists. And your special teams for the second time this year, we've seen this guy up close. This guy could kick. Yeah. Catholic Crusaders, Keller Brown, 8 for 8 on extra points last week and 4 touchbacks on 9 kickoffs. And he's one heck of a punter, but last week he did not have to punt once in that 58-17 win over Freeport.
I'll tell you what, man, the Catholic loss is looking a lot better every week for the Navarre Raiders. It just goes to show, man, like the talent in this area, you can't sleep on anyone week to week.
Yeah, Pace gave Catholic their only loss of the season at 34-14 to setback, if I remember right. Pace, hopefully, I saw the score box of the Pace game last week, and I was looking for big numbers out of Mikael Williams. But unfortunately, I saw 2 carries for 2 yards. I hope the young man didn't get banged up this past week, but don't worry, they had 2 other guys that were rushed for 100. So it's Pace. What do you expect? They still rushed for 300 or 400 yards last Friday night in their win over Crestview.
Yeah, you just look for Grant Wise, and then whoever's running the ball, just run behind him.
Him and Mathis over there on that side of the ball with them.
Yeah,
I don't know how big the guy is they have at center, but what a
massive.
what. I'm gonna speak for the rest of the Panhandle. We can't wait till Grant Wise graduates. Nothing against you, Grant. We're just tired of seeing you pancaking all of our players. I don't mind pancakes, but not those kind.
Man, look. So those two compete at a high level in weightlifting as well. Grant was a state champion, and Mathis would have been if Grant wasn't around. Those two and Peyton Robinson, man.
Oh. He said, by the way, number 90, that's Bryce Wheeler. I know, Scott.
Tall.
He's 6 foot tall. I said, don't let him hear you taking it away. I'm good with Bryce. Bryce and I are pretty tight there, Scott.
Yeah.
And Okay, I'll give him 6 foot. That comes from a guy that's all 5'6.5".
Bryce, we got you, champ.
We got you.
We got you.
You're one of us guys up helping us over at Legacy Athletics, and we definitely appreciate Bryce and what he brings to the weight room and to the field.
Team, yeah.
But some of the stats from this past week, I mean, gosh, it's just every week I'm impressed with some of these numbers. I mean, Destin running back in a losing contest last week, 19 carries, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they got beat. Baker's Riley Renfro, he's putting up big numbers at receiver. Freeport's Julius Miles, we've talked about numerous times this year, another 100-yard game for him. I mean, and some of the young quarterbacks, you got Deegan McCoy over at Niceville. Jalen Brown's doing great things over at Catholic. Justin Baldwin over at Baker. You're used to Baker being a running team. Not this year. They're a passing team, but they still can run the ball. But the running backs, I mean, you got Catholic's Ethan Crandall last week, 26 carries, 214 yards.
That kid was at Gulf Breeze, wasn't he?
He was at Gulf Breeze last year.
Man.
He had a 100-yard game against us in week 1. Him and the other running back, Caleb Willoughby. But I think Willoughby didn't play last week, so Ethan got all the carries last week in that win over Freeport. Right. And nothing against Freeport, but Freeport cannot stop the run. They had a young man go for 376 yards against them earlier in the season. They were still found a way to win because that was that 71-60 game. Your friend, his son Dante Whidbey had a big game for Choctaw. Carter Morocco, another big game over there. Choctaw, you cannot stop them. And Bluntstown's Amari Thomas. That guy is a 4-star running back that's transferred over from Mariana. He grew up in Central Florida and moved up to the Panhandle, and he played at Mariana last week. And I think he's a commit to South Carolina right now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's quite the stud they got a running back. Curtis getting his first 100-yard game this year.
On 8
carries. Defense, like I already talked about John Hanson, what he did on the offensive side of the ball as well as defense. Jacob Bishop, 14 tackles. Bryce with 12. I mean, gosh, that's just every week. And I post this information on Irish Bills IB Sports on my Facebook group page on Thursday mornings. So you want to see the stats of a lot of the guys. You say, well, what's your criteria to become? Well, quarterback, rush, and carry, you got to have at least 200 yards. Because we got a lot of quarterbacks that like to run the ball around here.
Yes, sir.
Running backs, you have to have at least 100 yards. You'll get noticed if you have it. Defense, 10 or more tackles. That's all it is, unless you go off and you have like 5 sacks, and those are the only tackles you have. We're going to mention you. Kickers, 3 or more extra points, and you got to be good on all of them. If you miss an extra point, you're not going to be on the list. So that's where I come from, and I appreciate Max Preps and all the coaches that put all that information into Max Prep, because that helps me decipher all of the numbers of all the players in the Panhandle as well. So, okay, let's move on here. We've talked high school and college football, and it's time to talk about our former Navarre Raiders. This first one, Michael Carter, you know him, don't you?
I do know him a little bit. Just a little bit.
Michael was brought onto the active 53-man roster this past weekend. He only had 1 carry in their Thursday night game because he was just activated earlier in the day on that day, if I remember right. Their next game up, they're playing Tennessee. They're 2-2 on the year because, unfortunately, when one guy gets called up, that means someone has been hurt, and James Conner is out for the season, I believe, with a high ankle injury. And so Michael will be on the 53-man roster for the rest of the season. And Jordan Jefferson, in his second year, he's moved from Jacksonville out to the West Coast and now playing for the 49ers. And that's funny because Jacksonville came out and beat him last week. And so Jordan knew a lot of those players on the other side of the field. And so that has to be a little strange, but it is a business. And Jordan yet to see the field for the 49ers yet. Their next game is a Thursday night game. That's going to be a good one against the Rams. And we talked about this young man a lot earlier in the year on the show. What a year for Quentin Randolph for the Vegas Knights. They are the IFL champions for this year after they goal line stands a 64-61 win over Green Bay. It sounds like a Cottondale-Freeport game score on the season. These numbers are, you got to remember, it's a 50-yard field. 86 receptions, 1,241 yards, 31 touchdowns, a team record. 18 carries for 59 yards, 6 touchdowns. So 37 total touchdowns on the season for our very own Quentin, also known as Q Randolph. I think if he ran for mayor in Vegas right now, he would get elected.
He probably would. I think the thing that's most intriguing about arena football specifically is everybody in the stadium knows that you're going to pass the ball probably 80 to 85% of the time. So that brings in a whole nother difficulty level, Bill.
Most definitely. And Michigan State's Grady Kelly more than likely he'll be in the draft next year. I think a second or third rounder, possibly. Big defensive lineman that takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, no, he's a very big body, and he also has high grades when it comes to player performance.
Most definitely. And UWF was off this last week, so nothing to report on. Devin Wright and Tyrell Marshall, Vinny Villanova. They're going to be on the road this week as they head to Oklahoma for a long road trip up to northeastern state. I don't think they've ever had a game in Oklahoma previously, so that should be interesting at 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. What a year Memphis is having. They're 5-0 on the season. A big win a couple weeks ago over Arkansas, which helped unseat the head coach there after Notre Dame took him to the woodshed on Saturday. But they played Florida Atlantic this past week, 55-26. Memphis moves to 5-0 on the season. One of only, I think, a couple of handfuls of undefeated teams left. I think there's like 7 or 8 teams that undefeated that are still left, maybe a little bit more.
Yes, sir.
They will be at they're going to be hosting Tulsa. That should be another win. Tulsa's having a down year. That's a Saturday night game at 7 o'clock, so I'm sure you'll be able to find that somewhere.
Ethan's probably going to be another pro.
Oh, most definitely. That is a lineman.
Woo, man.
He hasn't started, but he plays every single game. And if you haven't seen Ethan of late, that is definitely a pro offensive lineman.
He looks like a bouncer.
Yeah, he does. He transferred. He started over at Kennesaw State. They had a coaching change over there at Kennesaw State, and while doing that, Ethan decided that he was going to transfer on over to Memphis, and I think that's a very good decision.
He made a great decision.
University of Western Michigan wide receiver Terrence Marshall gets his first 3 receptions of his college career and a 47-14 win over Rhode Island this past week. So congratulations to Terrence, and you're going to hear his name as he's only a redshirt freshman. You're going to hear that young man's name for quite a while in college football.
He's getting bigger too, but he looks like he's about 6'3" now.
Really? That's all he needs to do is get taller.
He's still growing, man.
He's got great hands. He's great speed off the line of scrimmage, and they should have another cakewalk this week as they play UMass as they head over to Massachusetts to play UMass. Maybe not as, but on the season, 3 catches, 17 yards for Terrence Marshall. Tyrell is getting to start every game.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about Tyrell and what he's done in coming into Legacy Athletics and how he helped himself improve his stock.
Well, Tyrell is a perfect example, in my opinion, of a professional athlete that's playing college ball. So, obviously, West Florida has a great off-season criteria for the young men to follow. Tyrell, just like last year, he reached out, and he came to me directly, said he wanted to do some extra work. He wanted to put on some size, get more explosive. That young man gained 17 pounds during the summer, and I got to give most of the credit to Coach Damon Wright because he led most of the individual workouts with Tyrell. I did a lot with him as well, but the entire team did great. But it was all Tyrell. Him reaching out, him having the mentality, the vision to see what he wanted to do at the next level because he wasn't the number 1 corner before the summer started. He earned that throughout the summer. So it was a testament to his belief and his work ethic. And his mom and dad, they've done a really good job of raising him.
I think that he was selling himself a little bit short. And if you know Tyrell, he's very quiet.
He is.
He's a very quiet young man, but his actions spoke louder than his words during the off season, and he worked his way right into a starting role at UWF.
He came into the gym and he didn't talk. He was grinding, Bill.
Yeah, he
every minute.
He reminded me a little bit of Justin Lute.
Oh, Justin.
At first, when I got in there, it's like I talked to him and he just kind of he was quiet. And now that he's getting to know us, he's opening up a lot more. But both of those young men doing amazing things, and
I'm glad you called him out, Bill, because Tyrell, man, the focus that he came in with, and I had no doubt that he was going to get it done, but he said what goals he had. He wrote them down. He came in, got the work done. He followed up with me every time. So if he had a schedule change at work, Bill, he was letting me know, hey, Coach, I'm working this time. Can we get some work in at this time? I'm like, yeah, of course, let's go.
So he was doing not only his UWF training, but his training with Legacy Athletics. But before we move on, you know what I forgot to do?
What you got, Bill?
Announce the winners of our picks last week. I don't ever like to pat myself on the back. Oh yeah, I do. Last week,
the best for last.
We were the top two. I went 23-5 in high school picks last week. Marty, you were 22-6. Joe 21, and Bob 21-7. And Paul, when are you going to get off the caboose? Come on, man. I know you're a busy man. You can do a little bit of research, but those were the high school picks. So I got the lead right now. I got a 2 percentage point lead over Marty and an 8-game lead over Joe. So kind of spreading the gap here a little bit. I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I know it can change overnight. And our college picks.
One good week.
No, I went 21-5 last week. We had some upsets this past weekend. Marty and Bob went 19-7. Joe 18-8. Paul, come on. Start eating your Wheaties, man. 17-9 last week. Well, that's all I'm going to spend on that because I don't want to rub Paul's nose in his Wheaties.
No, actually, like if you look at all the totals, it's really close competition.
Oh yeah, the college numbers. I got a 4-game lead over Joe and Bob because they're tied. Yeah. They're 4 games back. Your percentage, 5 percentage points behind me, and Paul is 9 games back. So that can change in 1 week.
Absolutely.
And I could have a bad week, and next thing you know, Paul's on top. You know how hard that was for me to say. I'm sorry, Paul. But no, it's fun, and we have a group on a texting group called Pick Wizards, and it's fun the banter that goes on.
Oh no, it is
on there, and the fellowship that we got going on. It's all good and fun.
We talk about community, we talk about networking all the time, right, Bill? But when you collaborate with individuals that are competitive, that are intelligent, it only raises you up.
It sure does.
Like to see the messages that we have in that group, they're priceless.
And Joe has been kicking our butt for years, so it's time that we're finally even in the slate here in 2025.
I'll let you answer that question.
Notre Dame's playing home to Boise State this week. No Ashton Genty coming out of that locker room this year.
Notre Dame might put up 70 this week.
After what Marty,
what they did to Arkansas, bro?
I did not see that coming. I thought that was going to be a close game.
Arkansas's defense is
Arkansas
solid.
drove right down the field on their first drive, kicked a field goal, and then Notre Dame went on and scored on the next 7 possessions.
They're solid in the trenches, Bill.
They are.
The way y'all move
I like
him
their
around.
quarterback. He's a little suspect throwing the ball, but he's got great wheels. They lost a couple of close games early, and
go down to
the old
Arkansas.
snowball hit the top of the mountain and just kept rolling and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, someone's got to go, and the head coach Sam Pittman got the axe there.
Yeah.
He's an old Georgia assistant coach,
and he specializes in offensive linemen, right? Notre Dame absolutely dominated the trenches. You don't see that in Arkansas.
That was the best game that Notre Dame's defensive line played all season long.
Oh my goodness!
And their receivers, I was telling that transfer from Virginia, Malachi Fields, 6'4.5", 240-pound receiver that can go up and he can flat out run. Their transfer receivers, they had another one out of Wisconsin, Will Pauling. They had a big game against Arkansas. But their main guy, though, if he gets going, is young man number 6, Jordan Faison. He has a national chance. In fact, last year he had a chance to win 2 national titles in the same year. The Notre Dame lacrosse team won the national title, and then he played in a championship game for the football team. His younger brother is committed, will be coming in next year in the 26th class. The kid is just an athlete. Yeah. Sometimes you get just those special kids that are athletes, and even Aeneas Williams got in behind one of the best running back rooms in all of college football with Jeremiah. Did you get a chance to see the story on Jeremiah Love last week?
I did not.
If you get a chance, go out and watch that. Jeremiah growing up, he was always kind of a loner. He was a special kid, and his parents took him in and had him see doctors, and they said just let him be, and 'cause he looks at things differently, he reacts to things differently, and if you press him, it may push him into a place where he doesn't want to go. But his parents I can't give it any justice, but watch the special on Jeremiah Love from last week. I think it's like 10, 15 minutes long.
Okay.
But it's a great story, and that man has turned into probably the best running back in college football this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to check it out, and it doesn't surprise me the young men that are there because Marcus Freeman is one heck of a recruiter, man.
A motivator.
He might not even get it. He gets credit. But man,
people say, well, Bill, you lost 2 games. Yeah, we lost by a total of 4 points, but 2 teams in the top 10.
Yeah, and the thing about him, he doesn't lead with what value we can bring to you, right, in our organization as far as like funding and giving you money or NIL, whatever. He leads with what kind of young man you can turn into once you leave this program. You know, the excellence that they're living by, not only in the locker room but on the field as well and in the classroom. So what he's doing and with the expectations that he's upholding in regards to what kind of quality of men he's bringing in, it's incredible.
Most definitely. And one thing that I like what college football is doing because it takes a little bit of responsibility away from the head coach, and that is the position of the GMs. Now the colleges are bringing in GMs so they can worry about a lot of things that the head coach or the athletic director had to deal with previously. Mm-hmm. And I love that move by bringing in GMs, and Notre Dame has a good one. They lost theirs to USC, and that'll be interesting to see when he comes back to South Bend in a couple of weeks and they get ran out of the stadium once again. If they got beat by Illinois, a team that lost to Indiana 63-10, but Indiana into number 5 right now.
Yeah.
But
can't say enough good about Cignetti and what he's doing as a head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana shouldn't have had a shot his first year coaching there, bro.
No. Then they go 11-1 in the regular season, and they lose to a Notre Dame team that went to the championship game.
And he turned over about at least 30% of the roster.
Yeah. I mean, he had 70 – I mean, basically a lot of his JMU, James Madison players came over with him in that first year. So he had some – because JMU, if you know anything about college football, James Madison has turned into a really solid football program. They've made the move from FCS on up to FBS rather smoothly.
Yeah, no, and they're a cornerstone in the South in regards to how they coach, and Cignetti is a big part of that. His legacy at that university will not be forgotten.
And the best move was bringing in this young quarterback from Cal, and his younger brother is on the roster as well. Both quarterbacks, but Mendoza he did one heck of a game in a very hostile environment last week in Iowa. I don't know if you ever watched the game at Iowa. That is a very intimidating place to play. That crowd is loud. They love their football at Iowa, and when it comes to playing defense, they love hitting people. And that is a tough place to play. It's a tough battle with Indiana, and great play and a pass by Mendoza late that one of the best wide receivers in the country, Surratt, first team All Big Ten last year and probably will be again this year. And that's tough to be a first team wide receiver in the Big Ten and your name's not Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, so, Bill, I think the thing that is understated about Cignetti is how his confidence rolls down to his athletes, right? You know, we talk about it all the time. It starts at the top. You could tell how he prepares, his confidence, and his intelligence. It just trickles down to the rest of his team, man. They embody who he is as a leader.
Most definitely, and it's kind of a smugness. He's very confident. He's a very confident coach.
Yeah.
And,
Hey, he said, "Google me."
He said last year during the season he said, "Google me," and he'll find out it says I win. That's like
every level, though.
Every level,
and he wasn't lying.
And he's not lying.
Yeah.
And he's winning again. He's got Indiana up to number 5, maybe a little overrated right now. We'll find out in a couple weeks when they go out to Oregon. Oregon with a big win on Saturday night at Penn State. What a game and what a talented quarterback they have there at Oregon with Dante Moore. But so that's going to the schedule is going to be because I think they have to go to Penn State later in the year as well. So if they can muster through this 2025 schedule, you could look at another 11-1 regular season. At the worst, 10-2.
They're going to beat Penn State. He's a big game coach.
And we know all about little game James over there at Penn State.
You know, I don't know him personally.
How long is he going to? How long are the Penn State faithful going to allow him to stay there in Happy Valley? I mean, man, they ran out Joe Pa, which I'm still PO'd at. That guy had no reason to be ran out of town and then end up. We know all the ending with that one.
Yeah, that was tough, man.
Yeah, you got to have control over your program, but you had a rogue coach going on over there with and that was not Joe Pa's fault. I know he's the head coach, and sometimes the head coach has to fall on the sword, but I think that was the wrong move over there.
Yeah, I agree.
But Jonathan checking back in says, "What's your thoughts on the Alabama Vanderbilt game?" I got to look to see what is the spread for a game and see who's.
I'm not sure what the spread is, but I believe that Vandy's in trouble.
Let me pull it up here.
I believe Vandy's in trouble.
You think Vandy's in trouble, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because
one
thing Alabama has is
they gave it to him last year.
They got a little chip on their shoulder after last year. So
yeah,
your Georgia game, you're 20.5 point favorites over Kentucky.
Yeah.
Let's head on over because is that a night game or an afternoon game?
Which one?
The Bama and Vandy.
I'm not sure yet. I thought it was to be determined before. I'm not sure.
Let's see. We're got a lot of games. I love this. I love CBS Sports and when they put all the games. They even put FCS teams on here. I like that. I like to follow. Okay, it's going to be a 2:30 kickoff in Tuscaloosa or Tuscaloosa or whatever their name is over there that they call that town west of Birmingham. The big game coming up there, I think. But Vandy coming over there undefeated, 5-0. First time in a long time Vandy's been undefeated this late in the season.
They're well coached and they're recruiting at a high level right now.
Clark Lee.
That's not normal.
A Vanderbilt alum.
Yeah.
And when it was on the Notre Dame coaching staff, left Notre Dame to take his first head coaching job at Vanderbilt. We went back home.
That was smart. I mean, the alumni base is basically running college football right now in regards to coming together in collectives and, just recruiting individuals to come in to bring value to their organizations. Vanderbilt's doing that at a very, very high level. Their network is strong.
They have money.
Their network
They don't have to worry
strong.
about money.
Yeah. Their network is strong.
Money.
Yeah.
A lot of it. A 10.5 point favorite, Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Going into that one. Does Vanderbilt cover the spread? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Especially after watching the way Bama played Saturday night against your Dogs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 45-21 Alabama.
That was tough. 33-game winning streak goes out the window for Georgia. And
I don't say this often, but Kirby Smart got out coached.
Wow.
Marcus Freeman and DeBoer, man,
that's twice now that DeBoer's got him, isn't it?
That's 2 times. So I don't know if it's the Alabama stigma over his head, because DeBoer, man, he prepares well for big games, Bill. Their first 15 to 20 scripted plays were basically unstoppable. They drove down the field 2 drives. and they were long drives. And
I like the question, Jonathan. Keep them coming. Let's talk about the Florida State-Miami game. Over in Tallahassee.
we got to invite Bob in on this one.
Yeah, if
Bob's gotta
Bob,
chime
if you're
in.
still on your way home, stop by Culver's. We're still on. If not,
chime in.
we'll talk for you right here. I know you're going to be taking Florida State in that one, and I'm leaning that way right now. And that's going to be, I believe that is a Saturday night game, if I remember, Saturday evening game.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull this up here. Don't you love on-air production?
Yeah, I mean it's
6:30 kickoff on ABC. Miami is a 4.5-point favorite in that one on the road.
It's going to be a good game.
Number 3, Miami against number 18, Florida State.
It's going to be a really good game.
It's good to see Florida State not drop out of the top 25 after that close loss in double overtime last week to Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's got a good team.
Yeah.
People were sleeping on Virginia. I know they weren't in the limelight necessarily to start the season, but now they're gonna start getting some looks from these coaches to put them in the top 25.
Yeah, you remember a couple of players that played at Virginia. The twins there, the Barbers, played at Virginia.
Yeah.
And everybody remembers them and the careers that they had in the NFL. So you can't sell them short. What about your Colorado boys last week?
Yeah, this is on Dion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like small, intricate details that are being overlooked and not, some players are not being held accountable, I feel, at a high enough level. He's definitely not doing what he needs to do this year. It was hard, obviously, losing Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter, but at the end of the day, he's known for his recruiting. They brought in a whole lot of talent and even a 5-star quarterback. So there's not really any excuses, to lose these tight games, especially the way they have. I mean, they've lost leads the last 2 weeks.
Well, let's talk about one of our young men from the Panhandle, not necessarily from Navarre, but a young man from Pace. It's a junior at Mercer right now. Reese Griffith, we saw him kick in high school, one heck of a kicker trained.
Who is his kicking coach?
That would be my son, Brady Hamill.
I know that guy.
Reese not only invited Brady to his signing when he committed to Mercer, knowing that I was Brady's dad, he didn't invite me because I was Brady's dad. He invited me because of the coverage that we give all of the Panhandle and the players all over the Panhandle. He invited me over as well.
That's incredible.
So I got to meet his parents and everything, and he is 14 points away from breaking the all-time scoring record at Mercer. He's only a junior, and he's 4 field goals away from breaking the Mercer all-time record. So congratulations to Reese Griffith, the great job that he's doing over there for the Mercer Bears in your neck of the woods.
That's actually my
Macon.
hometown. I mean, the stories are just getting better and better, Bill, as far as, the magnet, energy that we have drawing us together. So it's not a surprise that young man is playing ball in my hometown.
Yeah, he's got a great leg, and you may see that guy at the next level someday. He's got another year. He's going to set all of the records at Mercer by the time he's gone.
And Mercer has had some good kickers,
Yes.
Bill.
They've had a great program over there for years, and my good friend Ken Allen, he lives over in that area as well, and he's got to go over and watch him play. He actually met Reese's parents, a good friend of mine that lives up in that area, at one of the games. He went up and was talking with them, and his family, great family. But congratulations to Reese on the college career that he's having thus far at Mercer.
Yeah, honestly, Mercer is a lower level like Vandy. I mean, they have those kind of academics. They have a widespread network. There's a lot of doctors and nurses that come from that area. That school produces lawyers, doctors, and nurses at a really high level. And the football players are incredible. So one thing that you always heard about Mercer is, you had to have it in between the ears. You had to have the test scores. You had to have your grades right. If you wanted to step on that campus, everything had to be well-rounded.
Most definitely. Another question come from Jonathan. Keep them coming. Any chance has Florida beats Texas in Gainesville, or will Texas take it? Yeah, they have a chance. It's called Slim, and Slim's walking out the door. They have a very slim chance of beating Texas on Saturday night. Now watch Florida go out and prove us wrong.
Hey, I mean, DJ Lagway has struggled, Bill.
He has.
I don't really know the organization that well because honestly, man, I couldn't stand Florida as a young man. because when I was in high school, Tim Tebow.
You're
was
Georgia. You're a Georgia
Yeah.
fan.
So I had to watch Tebow. I had to watch Steve Spurrier. Light
But
us
it's
up.
only a 7-point spread.
Yeah, that's
Does
that's
that
interesting.
surprise you a little bit?
No, it doesn't, because Florida recruited well. Now they're loaded on defense. Their defense is pretty good.
You know me, I love a good celebration. Not so much on the field of play, but what Arch Manning did, they're playing an FCS school, and he scores a touchdown, and he's looking over that guy laying on the turf in the end zone. Come on, Arch, you're better than that. Come on. You're playing Sam Houston or somebody like that. Come on. Let's be better.
Yeah.
You're representing the Manning name. Let's be a little bit better. Now, if you do that against Ohio State, you still lost. But anyways, come on. Let's be better. That's my rant for the night. Goes towards Arch Manning. Be better. Do better.
Yeah, not going to give that young man any excuses for what he did, but his dad was actually a receiver, so you might have a little bit of diva in him,
Yeah. That's possible, but
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You're Arch friggin' Manning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's head on over to the Gulf South Conference. West Florida was off this past week as they get ready for their big road trip into Oklahoma this weekend. Conference looking good. One team that's usually up at the top is struggling a little bit, Valdosta State. They're 2-2 on the year. They got shut out at home last week against UNC Pembroke. Delta State took out Erskine 52-0. West Alabama on a close one over North Greenville 52-44. On the season, West Alabama, they're 5-0. West Florida 4-0. Delta State 4-1. Valdosta State 2-2. You say, Bill, didn't that used to be a bigger conference? It used to. A couple of years ago, there was 9 teams in that conference, and
those other teams.
North of Alabama went to Division I. They're FCS now. West Georgia's FCS now.
Yeah.
Mississippi College, they shut down their football program, and the 4 other schools went off the the Carolinas conference over there. There's 15 teams in that one. There's a lot more competitiveness in that Carolinas conference. So that's why they're down to 4 teams, and there's rumors that West Alabama and West Florida might be moving up to FCS in the future as well.
Soon. And from what I understand, nobody wants to play anybody in this conference.
Would you?
Nah.
You ever been to Livingston, Alabama?
I have not.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to play there, or I wouldn't want to travel there if I didn't live there. Yeah. I mean, it's 215 miles from Navarre, all back roads, and it was one of the. I've been over there twice. Brady played he played them 3 times, once in Miles, but twice over in Livingston. One when he was playing at Shorter, and one when he was playing at Miles, and I've made that trip twice, and that's the only thing I liked about Livingston, Alabama, was they had this really nice bakery where we ate dinner before the game, and but that's all I got to say about Livingston. Now Delta State, that takes forever to get there from here. They're up in Cleveland, Mississippi.
Also at West Alabama, Scott Cochran, the
That's
head coach out there.
New head coach.
Yeah, from Alabama. So
they brought some of his staff members with him too, as coaches.
A lot of the players that play for him as well.
Yeah,
that staff is loaded, from what I understand.
Yeah, and it's they. Great facilities over there at West Alabama. Not a very big band, from what I remember. But then again, no band is like Miles. Miles 250 strong. I got to tell that story. I love telling that story. We're over there for the Miles College and West Alabama game, and West Alabama has about 40 people in their band. Well, here comes Miles College in their 6 charter buses, because they have a friend of the school. And they come down in Mercedes-Benz buses. And it takes them 15 minutes walking one by one into the stadium. And the other band's just sitting there like, they're kind of gawking a little bit. And they're trying to play. And when you got 40 versus 250 band members, there's a different sound out there in the stadium. I mean, West Alabama did go on, and I think they beat Miles on that night. But anyways, that's always a good story to tell, because there's always I love the HBCU bands, especially Miles College, and that made the environment every Saturday where we went to travel, and they always, wherever they played, they traveled along. So That was a great time at Miles College. Schedule this week in the Gulf South. All 4 teams back at it. West Florida travels up to Oklahoma. Delta State goes to Barton College this weekend. Lenore Ryan at Valdosta State. That's not going to be an easy game for Valdosta State because Lenore Ryan gave West Florida game early before West Florida pulled away. And a team from California, Lincoln, California, is traveling to Livingston, Alabama. So that's L.A. traveling to L.A., Livingston, Alabama. So, anyways, I don't think that's going to be much of a game. West Alabama should win that one going away.
Yes, sir.
But there's the Gulf South Conference. Let's now move over to SIAC. You're saying, Bill, well, Miles was ranked early. Well, Miles lost their head coach to Alabama A&M, and he took half of their staff with him. Former NFL players and coaches went with him. So Miles is struggling a little bit here in 25. Albany State took out Allen. You're familiar with Albany State. I've been up there a couple of times.
Yeah.
They love their football up there in Albany.
That's right.
52-14 over Allen. Central State over Lane, 42-13. Benedict over Clark Atlanta, 59-24. Clark Atlanta with one of those stadiums. They have no visitors stands. They have hills where the students sit over there and watch the games. Been up there once. Morgan State takes out Miles 24-17. Fort Valley State over Tuskegee 27-20. Kentucky State over Savannah State 37-20. Edward Waters over Morehouse, a close one, 27-24. This week's schedule, all conference games except for one. Central State at Fort Valley State. Savannah State goes up to play FCS school South Carolina State, which is the alma mater of one Tony Carter.
Yes, sir.
He played at South Carolina State. Allen at Benedict, Kentucky State at Miles College, Albany State at Lane, and Tuskegee at Morehouse. And now, wow. We got, Jonathan with another question. I love the questions you got throwing, Jonathan, at me tonight. Can you check on the Mid-South Conference, Bill? My Faulkner Eagles out of Montgomery. That is my school. Well, while you... We had a Navarre player that went over there and played for a year. Kyle Chambers.
Kyle Chambers, yeah,
he went over there, went to Faulkner.
I saw him at B-Dubs the other night.
Let me pull up their. I can pull up their schedule here real quick. Faulkner football. Their football schedule. Let's see. They're out of Montgomery, right, Jonathan? I believe so.
Yes.
Hey, Bob, we're not talking picks tonight. You know better than to bring up pick conversation here. On the season so far, Faulkner is 3-1. They won their first game over Point University. You know where Point's at, right there on Highway 85 heading into LaGrange.
I've never
that's
seen
just short of LaGrange. They won 28-8. Then they went over to Thomas University in Georgia. I'm not sure where Thomas University in Georgia is at, but they won 22-7. Then they ventured down into Florida to take on Southeastern Fire University. 26-19, a loss there. And then last week they beat Union Commonwealth University 41-15. This week they're at home against Bethel University out of Tennessee. So there's your – where else can you go, Jonathan, to get Faulkner football updates other than Irish Bill's Twist on Sports?
Interesting fact about SEU, I was down in I think it's in the Tampa area. That campus is really nice.
Yeah.
SEU
We
is
had a
nice,
couple
brother.
we had a player that went down there years ago. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I can't remember if it was Johnny Robinson went down there and played a year, possibly.
I thought Johnny Lewis was going to end up down there, but he ended up at
Warner.
Warner, yeah.
And he's playing.
He's playing
He's
well.
a true freshman playing well for Warner.
Yeah.
If you don't know where Warner at, it is out in the middle of nowhere,
Actually,
around
he's
the
not-
Lake
he's
Wales
not at-
area.
He's not at Warner. It's another college.
Or is it
What's the
let's see,
other
there's Warner, there's Weber International.
That's where
That's
he's at.
right.
Yep.
Brady actually visited Weber International. And it was out. I think it's in the Lake Wales, Lake Mary.
is.
I think in Lake Wales, I believe it is. And they actually share a football field with the high school, or I can't remember if they own
They
their own
have
stadium.
recently. Well, they're kind of upgrading.
Okay.
It's still they're still in between, doing their thing. But
But Bob, you're breaking protocol by trying to give me upsets picks when we don't announce our picks on Tuesday night. You know that. That's why you have noon on Wednesday to get your picks in. Can't give these other guys. Thomasville is in Thomasville, Georgia. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate that. We don't. That's why I give you guys time. Don't want to give anybody. Let them know what direction you're going on your picks, because we don't want to sway.
That's right.
Each other's picks. So, Bob, shame on you. But so what do you think of the show tonight, Marty?
I think it was really good, smooth, organic. It's just natural, man. It flows. You know.
Yeah, we have fun with it. People often ask me what do you talk about on the show. I said high school football mainly, but we throw in a lot of college, but we don't do hardly any college talk when we do our Wednesday night show over Buffalo Wild Wings, because it is about Navarre football and the coaches and the players that we have come in, and so we kind of stay away from college football talk. We will talk about our picks on the Wednesday night show, but that's usually after we've interviewed everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo the statement that I typically would make every single time that I join you on the show, even with Bob. We're so blessed and fortunate in this area, not only in Navarre but in the Panhandle, that we have so many individuals that are passionate about the coverage of high school ball, because honestly, like, this is going to be some of the highest moments that a lot of these young men will have in their entire lives. So being able to display their talents, and not only currently, but keeping it for history, because in the future they'll be able to show their grandchildren. You know what I mean?
I run into some former Navarre players. One young man used to be a running back at Navarre, Jaden Antonio.
Oh yeah.
And he works out to the base Class 6 store, the shop at there.
Okay.
And I run into him every time I go in there, and we talk about football, and he asks how everything's going out here, but I see players around, and they always thank me for what I do, and but you know me, Marty and I are both humble men, and I at times don't take compliments very well.
I think that's because you have high expectations for everything you do, and that's fine.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
But I also want to throw on out there, you may have seen this on my Facebook page today. This is my last day of work. Well, this is what you say, Billboard. You're still going to broadcast. Yes, this is not broadcasting. To me, is not work. Broadcasting is fun. It's passion, and that comes out hopefully in all of my shows and my broadcasts. But after 40 and a half years, calling it quits and time for to move on and really enjoy things with our broadcasting, because it's only going to get better.
Yeah, your purpose.
Our purpose is totally focused on my broadcasting and my grandchildren now.
Yeah, I totally love how you utilize your platform not only to shed light on our community, but just to shed light to the world. Literally, I wouldn't have known a whole lot about Navarre if I didn't see you, broadcasting and sharing the information about the local area. I'd probably be living in Niceville right now. So,
well, we got a young man I want you to talk about. Hopefully, he's watching tonight. That wants to come on and join our team as a young. He loves broadcasting. I was talking with his dad this morning. We're chatting back and forth, and he wants to be a broadcaster. He's 15 years old, and he just loves. And he reminds me a little bit of myself, to be honest with you. When I was a young lad, I would race my brother down the stairs to try to get the newspaper so that I could read the sports section before anybody else could get the paper, because paper came in the morning. Yeah. And so he kind of reminds me, I used to listen to hockey games on the radio, baseball games on the radio, football games on the radio, and I just fell in love with it. And it sounds like this young man. Tell him who we're talking about, Marty.
Yeah, so this young man that we're communicating about, his name is Ethan C. He actually attends Gulf Point Latin School. His mom and dad reached out to us a few weeks back about getting him started. He loves sports. He actually is a pretty good athlete as well. He loves sports, but he's very passionate about broadcasting. We, Bill and I and all of our coaches, whenever we have an athlete that comes a part of the program, We want to establish a connection with them naturally and organically. So we just communicate about things. We call it form. Family, occupation, recreation, message. And I was just naturally going through that process, and I asked him, what do you like to do for fun? What's your passion? And he said, broadcasting. And I was like, what? I said, broadcasting? He said, yes, sir, I love broadcasting. And then I asked him who his favorite broadcasters were. And what's Mr. Fowler's name?
Chris Fowler.
Chris Fowler. So
He's good.
This young man, when he was, I believe, 12 or 13 years old, his dad has a picture of him for Halloween. He dressed up as Chris Fowler.
I can't say I ever dressed up as a broadcaster for Halloween.
Bill, I couldn't believe it. And y'all, Bill and I, we communicate about, naturally drawing blessings to ourselves, right? And the right people at the right time. And I've never heard, I've communicated with so many young athletes and young people in general, and this is the first time I've ever heard anybody tell me that they dreamed about being a broadcaster. Bill.
I did.
That's, bro,
Yeah.
That's why it's so amazing,
Yeah.
because I know you and I have been doing this together for like the last little over a year,
Yeah.
but you and Bob have set the tone and paved the way, for this, and there's a lot of people starting. Lee Jones communicated about, remember when he talked to you about
Yep.
being up in the booth and communicating games? So I just think, what you're doing in the community, it extends and it goes way further than what we just see on TV or on paper. I mean, now it's starting to trickle down to people that not only are passionate about, what you're doing here, but also are inspired, about potentially seeing themselves as a broadcaster or a podcaster, man. I think it's an incredible story, and I look forward to seeing Ethan C., join us and grow.
That's good to start out with a positive message on our show, and that's what Marty and I and Bob and Joe and
Mr.
Paul.
Villanova.
That's what we do. We start each day with positivity, and I hope you all out there start your day looking positive at what's going on in your life and what's going on around you, because it's so much easier to get through life when you're positive.
Yeah, it is, and it draws positivity to you.
Most definitely. So for Marty Wilson, it's been Irish Bill. Marty filling in for Seminole Bob. He'll be back next Tuesday night, but he'll also be over with us at Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow at 8 o'clock, where we'll have Coach Gardner. We have Tyler Pitch coming in to join us, Jack Byer, and Jacob Bishop, one of the best punters in the Panhandle this year in 2025. Hopefully you'll be able to catch our show tomorrow night. Tonight, we thank you for coming on this show, and I thank Honey and Randy Smith. I ran into them the other day at the neighborhood Walmart, and Randy unfortunately going back for some more scans this week, so we sent our prayers out to Randy. Hopefully his scans went well, and sending some positivity and prayers your way, Randy. They are the owners of not only the Culvers here in Navarre, also in Destin and over in Fort Walton Beach as well. So our prayers go out to them. We're going to call it a night here, Marty. You got any parting words before we head out?
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you to Culver's. Thank you to this family that blesses us, each and every night that we come and host this show. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank y'all so much for everything you're doing in the community.
Most definitely. For Irish Bill, Marty Wilson, Seminole Bob, hopefully you enjoyed the show. We're going to sign off tonight. Good night, Navarre.